Hello and welcome to Byju's Exam Prep IAS. Welcome to the big news. The topic for today's discussion: India versus China, Nepal's Buddhist heritage. Before we understand what this topic is all about, a quick gentle reminder. As part of Target Prelims 2022, our tomorrow session would be with respect to science and technology, and this will be the third lecture. Please do tune in from 7:30 to 9:30 pm, and this session will be handled by Rasisa on our YouTube channel. Let's get started and try and understand what is this topic all about. When it comes to international relations, we have two types of power. One is what is called as hard power, the other happens to be the soft power. What is this hard power and the soft power? This was first explored by US political scientist Joseph Nye back in the late 1980s. When we speak about hard power, it is exercise of influence through coercion, relying on tactics like military force, payments and economic sanctions. So if a country is making use of all these powers to make another country fall in line with it, that is what is called as hard power. Let's say a country is making use of military, wages a war against another country so that it falls in line with it, is what is called as hard power. For example, United States of America is making use of hard power in the form of economic sanctions against Russia. The other power that we have is called as soft power. Soft power basically makes use of attraction and persuasion to change the minds and influence behavior. Its sources include culture, political values, positive global engagement. In fact, you can also consider cuisine, you can also consider films and movies as well. All of these fall under the domain of soft power. And over the number of years after this particular concept was developed by Joseph Nye, another person called as Jeffrey Haynes, who happens to be the emerite professor of politics at London Metropolitan University, expanded its meaning. He goes on to say that religion can also play a pivotal role when it comes to the foreign relations. So he says that there is something called as the religious soft power. So what is this religious soft power? It is making use of the religious ideas, norms and values in the international relations. So making use of the religious soft power, one would be able to have social and political impact. They would be able to create certain outcomes as well, like democratization, democracy, conflict resolution, international development, gender relations, so on and so forth. Why are we discussing this? That is because when we speak about religions in the world, some of the major religions in the world have originated in India. If I speak about Hinduism, if I speak about Buddhism, if I speak about Sikhism, if I speak about Jainism, all emerged out of India. Similarly, if I ask you about Vatican City, what you will remember is with respect to Christianity. If I speak about Mecca and Medina, what you will relate to is with respect to Islam. So every country has a particular religion where it has taken birth. In India, we have Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and Jainism, where all these religions have taken birth. India is also the birthplace of Buddhism, and the religion is part of India's spiritual heritage. And at the helm of the affairs during the period of Ashoka, we also helped in spreading Buddhism as well. And King Ashoka sent his son Mahendra and his daughter Sangamitra to Sri Lanka, and in the Buddhist text of Mahavamsha, written in Sri Lanka, they have names of Ashoka, Mahendra as well as Sangamitra. So what has India done? India has made use of Buddhism as a soft power earlier during the period of Ashoka, and even now it is making use of Buddhism as a soft power. Now, if we speak about Buddhism, where was Buddha born? Buddha was born in Lumbini. Where is Lumbini? Lumbini is in Nepal. So, the birthplace of Lord Shakyamuni Buddha happens to be in Lumbini. Buddha was born in Lumbini, which happens to be one of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is the abode of peace. It is an ultimate pilgrimage of all Buddhist devotees, peace lovers around the world. Apart from Lumbini, which is present in Nepal, India is also home to some of the most sacred sites of Buddhism, the place of Lord Buddha's enlightenment, Bodh Gaya, of his first servant Sarnath, and of his Mahaparinirvana Kushinaga. What do we realize from this? Yes, Lumbini is present in Nepal, but other important pilgrimage places are present in India. So, who should take the responsibility or the soft power of Buddhism? It has to be ideally India, and if it is not India, it has to be Nepal. But ironically, this particular place of Lumbini is currently being captured by China in an indirect way. How? This particular place of Lumbini has now become the focus of intense geopolitical rivalry between the two Asian giants, India and China, as they jostle for strategic influence in Himalayan nation and beyond via the Buddhism. So, what is China trying to do? China is planning to take Buddhism as its own soft power. Ideally, it should have been used by India or by Nepal, but what is China doing? China is making a lot of investments in Lumbini so that it can capture Buddhism as its means to the soft power. But why is China doing it? China is using Buddhism to increase its influence in all the nearby regions by acquiring predominant access to the powerful Buddhist organizations. If you are able to capture the soft power via the Buddhism, it will be able to influence every other country as well. Let's say, for example, in Sri Lanka, what primary religion happens to be Buddhism. In Myanmar, primary religion happens to be Buddhism, and Buddhism is one of the tools and the mechanisms in the international relations where they would be able to use it as the soft power. So, in case they make large number of investments in Lumbini, which happens to be the birthplace of Gautama Buddha, they would be able to influence the soft power via Buddhism is the calculated move done by China. China is also keen on appointing the next Dalai Lama in an attempt to try to directly control the Tibetan religious hierarchy under their leadership. Additionally, China's interest in Nepal and in Lumbini is primarily because there are approximately about 20,000 odd Tibetans who are living in Nepal, in Lumbini, and in and around. A number of people of Tibetan origin live in the northern fringes of Nepal, bordering Tibet, and China also has serious apprehensions of some of the hostile powers taking over this particular place and making use of Nepal as a base to create disturbances inside Tibet. So it basically believes that there are some countries which may influence Nepal, and if they influence Nepal, they would be able to control Tibet in an indirect way, which is why to control Tibet and in order to appoint the new leadership after Dalai Lama, we have China making a lot of investments, one in Nepal and also controlling some of the areas indirectly. So China has expanded its influence in Nepal, and its embassy now directly interacts with Nepal's police to restrict the activities of the Tibetans resident in that particular place. So what has China done? China has made a lot of investments near to Lumbini and in Nepal. It has developed one of the airports called as the Bhairava International Airport, and has also built Zhuanghua Chinese Buddhist Monastery in Lumbini as well. So these are some of the investments made by China in Lumbini as well as in Nepal with respect to Buddhism. India has not kept quiet. India is also making a lot of investments as well, and India has also developed one of the airports called as Kushinagar International Airport in Uttar Pradesh along the border areas of India and Nepal. Inaugurated back in the year 2021, the airport has been developed as part of the Indian efforts to reinforce its Buddhist heritage and linkages as a counter to the Chinese move. What are the other efforts taken by India to promote Buddhism and also promote it as soft power? Back in the year 2011, with the assistance from the Indian government, an organization called Global Buddhist Congregation helped bring representatives of multitude of Buddhist traditions together in an overarching body. With this particular body, they were able to bring as many as Buddhist leaders, around 900 patriarchs, supreme patriarchs, high-ranking monks of various Buddhist traditions from around the world, making it one of the largest gatherings of the Buddhist leaders since the time of King Ashoka. So the government of India has realized that some other country is taking over the soft power of Buddhism and has constantly introduced new measures so that Buddhism becomes the tool of soft power for India. In the year 2021, the Indian Council for Cultural Relations announced India would host the first global Buddhist conference in November, but it was postponed due to the raging of COVID-19 pandemic. But fresh dates are yet to be announced, and India also came up with what is called as the Ramayana and Buddhist circuit. We have the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister and Prime Minister Narendra Modi who visited Janakpur, which happens to be the birthplace of Siddha, and announced a connectivity project linking pilgrimage centers of Ayodhya to Janakpur via a regular bus service. That is what is Ramayana circuit. In addition to that, the government of India is also keen on developing the Buddhist circuit, in which Lumbini happens to be a prominent place. Both Lumbini and the Mahabodhi temple in Bodh Gaya are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. These needs to be developed as a Buddhist circuit with seamless connectivity as well as comfortable travel as well. So in this particular backdrop, India will have to make a large scale investments on the Indian side, and India will also have to make investments on the Nepal side as well, so that they can develop this Buddhist circuit. To give further boost to it, what we have is the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, who made a visit in Lumbini on May 16th to lay the foundation of a monastery and to address a celebration at Maya Devi temple. So this particular visit by the Prime Minister of India further reiterates, if there is a challenge by China to capture Buddhism as a tool of soft power by China, that will not be taken easily by India, and this is a clear cut message sent by the Prime Minister of India, and indirectly this means that India is ready to take on the challenge if it comes to the soft power rivalry. So in this particular visit, what we also see is that Prime Minister of India did not make use of the Bhairava airport, which was actually developed by China, but instead Prime Minister of India took a chopper ride from Kushinagar in Uttar Pradesh to Nepal. So what is the significance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Nepal? One, it is sending a clear message that the soft power of Buddhism is only entitled to India and Nepal, and we will not let any other country capture this. India is also sending a message that it is planning to further make investments as part of the Buddhist circuit, and it is also sending a clear message that we are here to stay, we are here to challenge, and Buddhism is an ingredient part of our spiritual cultural heritage. Added to it, this also gave an opportunity to Prime Minister Narendra Modi to also speak to the Prime Minister of Nepal, and the two sides also started engaging closely on number of issues as well. What is the way forward? As of now, there is a plan to connect Lumbini, which is present in Nepal, with all the important Buddhist heritage sites in India, and added to it, India can also take the initiative to organize an international conference on the development of Buddhist circuit in India. So if India is able to invest a lot of money on the infrastructure front, make this entire Buddhist circuit, namely Lumbini, Bodh Gaya, Sarnath, Kushinagar, to be declared as a UNESCO World Heritage Site with master plans in place, India would be able to take a direct challenge from China and would be able to use Buddhism as a soft power in the near future. So, India will have to re energize the religious traditions and integrate this as part of the cultural strength going forward. It is this that we have to understand with respect to this article. So, this is it for today. Thank you for watching. All the best.